Hello, hello. Welcome back to episode of the Black Doctor Collective podcast. I want to talk about what happens in a negotiation process after you ask. Okay, this is a moment that people do not prepare for. So everyone talks about how to ask for what you want, how to prepare, what to say, how to walk in the ready. Nobody talks about what happens next, and this is a goodie. So whether they say yes or they don't say anything at all, or they say no, the moment after the ask is where most people kind of fall apart. So that's what we're going to talk about today, that specific moment. Before I get into the episode, if you are not already subscribed to the podcast, whether on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pause right now and do it. Click the button, click the subscribe bell, whatever you got to do. I want you to not miss out on any of the things that are going to be happening. So the button's right there. Click it. All right, let's go. Welcome to the Black Doctor Collective podcast. We as Black doctors are in a unique position. We can change our communities, healthcare, and the world. Of course, we start by changing the way we see and value ourselves. I'm your host, Dr. Shanika Horn, pediatrician and physician coach, travel extraordinaire. I am so happy to have you here and listening. So let's get into it. So in this episode, I want to talk to you about 3 things that can happen after you ask and exactly what to do about each one, because the asking is not the finish line. I know there's so much buildup to that moment, but it's not the end. Okay. So you have a step in the negotiation process. It's the next step after asking. And most of us never talk about or have been taught what that looks like. Think about the last time you asked for something, not a small thing, something that makes you literally nervous, that you feel the nerves about asking, you feel the nerves in preparation for the conversation. What did you do in the moment after you asked? Did you wait? Or did you fill the space and talk yourself or talk them out of it? Many of us fill the silence and it costs. Okay. Women, especially, the maybe, the perhapses, we use a lot of hedging in our natural language that if you don't mind, it's not a big deal. If not, those things add up and they signal uncertainty, even when we're certain, right? Even when you know this is something you desperately want, you're still putting in a lot of this like hedging language. I've had clients who prepared beautifully for a negotiation. They knew their number, they knew their non-negotiables. They walked into that room ready. And then they kept talking after they asked. I've done the same thing. This is why I know. I've been the person in the room. There's something about putting a big ask on the table that makes my chest squeeze. Like I can feel it now just thinking about it. My thoughts are racing. I feel fidgety. Like the silence is something I have to fix, right? I just want to like explain what it is I'm asking for, why I'm asking for it. I want to put a lot of buffers around the ask. In that moment, before anyone has said a single word, you might end up offering a lower number. You might apologize for asking. You might tell them you're flexible about something you are not, in fact, flexible about. You negotiate against yourself before they have a chance to respond. And you may not even realize that that's what you're doing. You're literally just seeking a solution for the discomfort. What's going to ease the chest pressure? Your brain is racing to solve that problem. When someone does not immediately respond to something you have asked for, what is your body telling you to do? For most high achievers, the answer is fix it, explain it, take it back, make the discomfort stop by any means necessary. That instinct is the thing that costs you the most in a negotiation. And we're going to talk about managing that. So, 3 things happen after you ask. And then we're going to talk about what to do in each one. So let's talk about scenario 1. You ask for something and they say yes. This one feels simple. It's no. When someone agrees immediately, the first instinct might be relief, but sometimes it's not. And then the trap is that you keep talking past the close. There is sometimes a moment of panic when someone readily says yes to something you've built up in your mind. Like you were already prepared for the rejection. You've already prepared a speech. And now they're just agreeing. There's also a moment where you're like, damn, did I not ask for enough? Like they agreed real quick. On the flip side of that, there's the moment of like guilt that creeps in, right? You are like, oh my God, I've already decided that I asked for too much. You start looking for a way to give some of it back. Do not do that. When they say yes, you say thank you. You confirm the details in writing and you stop negotiating. Yes means yes. We're taking it at face value. Do not reopen it. Do not turn it over in the middle of that conversation. Do not do whatever version of the "are you sure" that we tend to do. Receive it. It's like when someone offers to pay a bill at a restaurant and you're like, oh my God, are you sure? And you feel like you either have to do one or two. Like, are you absolutely certain before you let them pay? We're not doing that. That's not what happens. That's not what's going to happen. Don't do it. Scenario 2, they say no. No is not the end of the negotiation. No is information. And that is always the goal. Yes or no, we're getting information. So the question after the no is always, is this a hard no or a not yet? Think about kids, right? When you say no to a child, that moment, they're not just like, oh man, like this is over. Most of them are like, how can I ask this a different way? Is this like a firm no? Like, what can I get away with? That's the mentality you got to go into these conversations with. If it is a hard no, the ceiling is real, right? Now you have to decide and you get to decide. It's still your choice to decide if what they're offering is enough. Is it enough to stay if you're in a job, or is it enough to sign? Is it enough to build from? If it's a not yet, that means there's room in your job here. Okay. It's to find out what would make the yes possible. It's not to convince them. It's just for you to understand the path forward. The worst thing you can do in this case after the no is to go completely silent, to just accept it immediately, or is to just argue your point. Neither of those things work. Ask a question instead. Help me understand what needs to change for this to be possible, right? You're just expounding. Like kids will always ask you why. You say no, and a kid will be like, why? That's what you're doing here, but obviously in a professional, more composed way. So instead of planning out like a whole speech rebuttal, think about what questions do I need to ask to get me to the answer, right? This is important. Do not let the feelings of rejection take hold. No is just a data point. It is not a verdict on your worth. It is not a confirmation that you asked for too much. None of those things, okay? It is a data point. We need more information. Hard no, soft no. If a soft no, what else do I need to know? Okay. Scenario 3, they don't say anything at all. Maybe they ask for more time. I don't know. Sometimes silence is a deliberate negotiation tactic, but sometimes, most times, they are genuinely processing. Sometimes they are also wondering, well, what would it take for me to be able to offer this person? Sometimes they need to check with someone else. Sometimes they need to check the budget, right? Either way, the rule is the same. You ask, you wait, you do not fill the silence. Whoever speaks first after the ask tends to be at the disadvantage. You want it to be them. Whoever speaks first is laying out some more cards. right? So if it's you and you're like, well, I'm willing to compromise before they've even responded, you're at the disadvantage, right? Okay. If you are in the room physically, like this is a physical conversation, like in-person conversation, and the silence feels unbearable, I want you to think about what you need to do in that moment. Personally, me, I count. I count silently, obviously, right? But I give my brain something to do so it doesn't panic and start talking. So I'm like, how much silence am I comfortable with? Let me count to 15. Let me count to 30. If this is not an in-person conversation and a day passes, 2 days pass without a response, I think a follow-up is appropriate. Just one clear, direct, non-apologetic reply. I just wanted to follow up on our conversation. I'm still very interested. I would just love to know where things stand. That's it. And then you wait. Again, go do something else. Go do a hobby. Hang out with a friend. Anything that stops you from feeling the silence. We don't want to feel the silence. Okay. Is there a negotiation? So I want to ask you guys, is there a negotiation you've been waiting to hear back on and you've already started telling yourself what the silence means? Be aware of that part of your brain that it's already planning for rejection. Their silence does not always mean what you think it means, right? You want to wait, you want to follow up once, and then you make your decision, okay? So just remember that asking is just another step in the negotiation process. It's not the finish line. It's not just the moment, the culmination that you've been waiting for. What you do in the moments after you ask, whether you hold steady or whether you collapse under the pressure of the silence, that is where a lot of negotiation is won or lost. Can you practice sitting in the discomfort? Can you let the silence do its work? It's one of the most powerful skills you will build. Honestly, everything is on the other side of discomfort. Everything, right? When you meet a new partner, right, you're uncomfortable, but the good stuff is on the other side of the discomfort. If you're in a fight, a confrontation, you have to get through it to get to the resolution. Like there's always some discomfort. That's just life. If you can build up a tolerance for discomfort, that's the farther you, that's the like, that's what's going to take you farther. When you're in medical school, the whole damn thing is uncomfortable, but the goal, you have a goal in mind. Like, you know what you're trying to achieve. You know that you can handle discomfort, right? You've been through this. You know how to handle discomfort. So you just need to figure out how to apply that to moments like this, to moments of asking. So if you have a negotiation coming up and you're already talking to yourself about it, or you have one in process, I want you to bookmark this episode, save the episode, come back to it before you go into the room. Okay. I want you to replay this conversation, go back to the beginning and listen again and plan what you're going to do for each of the 3 scenarios. Okay. And remember, if you have not subscribed to the podcast, I'm going to be doing a couple short to the point episodes, moment by moment, how to get through negotiating moments. I want you to subscribe, click the like button so that we can keep going. And I will see you next. Have a good bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to the podcast. And what I want you to do next is link us everywhere you can. Instagram at The Black Doctor. Just become part of our collective. I want you here. Thanks. Until next time. Bye.